You're coming downtown, kid. Gotta do the good cop, bad cop routine here. Hopefully you won't, beat me up and take my gun.
Iris, I'm going to ask you some questions. Please answer honestly. However, you do not have to say anything that might incriminate you.
The right to remain silent? You're treating me like a criminal.
Not exactly. I'm just looking for the truth. And I would appreciate your cooperation.
Iris looks nervous. It's understandable, of course, after being taken to a place like this. Hey, I got a cool mirror. Look, I can look at myself. And my head moving. A two-way mirror. There's a small room on the other side of the mirror, but you can't see it from here. That's a pipe.
This is the camera used to record the interrogation. Images captured by this camera are sent to the database in real time. It is later saved permanently on our servers. You can remotely control it as well.
How do I do that? I want to do that. Anything else of interest in here? Not really. It's kind of dusty in here, actually. You can see dust particles in the air.
What were you doing from 7 to 9 last night?
I was at home the whole time.
You're sure?
Sounds like a lie to me.
Yes.
Iba, thermograph.
There is no noticeable rise in Iris's body temperature.
I feel like thermographs are not, like, you can't use that in any real way.
She isn't lying.
Not necessarily.
It could just mean that somebody's, like, really nervous. Like if they got suddenly taken into a police interrogation room.
We must consider the possibility that she is a natural liar.
With that kind of confidence, her temperature wouldn't change.
Correct.
Renju's estimated time of death was 8 p.m. last night. If Iris's story is true, she couldn't have done it.
There is another possibility. Even if Iris was at home, she could have killed Renju.
You mean...
Mind control.
I'll ask again. You are sure you were at home around 8 p.m. yesterday?
Yes.
Can I ask your mother about your alibi?
You can, but there'd be no point.
Why is that?
My mom wasn't home. She came back home early this morning.
This morning?
Yeah.
Where was she?
I don't know.
You don't know. Come to think of it, Iris's mom had connections to Renju too.
Hitomi did mention that yesterday.
Renju was my classmate at Eitoku High.
Okay, so I guess we had this conversation before the split as well.
We've known each other for 20 years now.
However, we have nothing to link her to the case.
But I am curious. What was Hitomi doing last night?
Do you notice she kind of looks like she has some kind of bruise? Like, around her collarbone there? I don't know if that's just like a piece of clothing that she's wearing, or if that's like some kind of bruise on her body.
I heard you used to work at Sunfish Pocket.
That's right.
How long?
A little over a year.
Because I don't see it in the, in like the portrait view or whatever down here on the bottom left.
Working there that long, you're probably pretty familiar with the equipment.
Yeah, I guess.
What about the surveillance camera? Do you know where those tapes were stored?
What are you trying to say?
Here's what Ota told me. Yesterday around 6:15 p.m., you and Renju came out of the Sunfish Pocket building. Is that true?
Yes? Mr. Okiura called me and told me he wanted me to come to Sunfish Pocket, ASAP.
Around what time was that?
5 p.m., I think. I got ready, then headed over there. I guess I got there about an hour later.
Date, I checked her call history. At 4:58 p.m., there is a record of a call to Iris from Renju's phone.
Let's check this one out.
When did you find out Renju was killed?
This morning, on the news.
And you were with Renju last night? You didn't think to call the police and inform them of this?
Oh, sorry. Is that something you're supposed to do? I had a podcast to record this morning, so if I went to the police, I'd be late. And that would cause everyone a lot of trouble, you know?
Sure.
What were you doing with Renju?
He asked me about a job.
What kind of job?
He rented out Sunfish Pocket for a party and he wanted me to MC. He said that it was an important party and that a lot of big shots were gonna be there.
Is that how you say MC? EMCEE?
But the girl he asked to do it originally got sick and couldn't come. But I turned him down.
Why?
Because I'm just an internet idol. I've never done any MCing before. Especially with important people being there.
What did you do after you turned him down?
I left with Mr. Okiura. At 6:15 p.m. That must have been when Ota saw me.
And after that?
I asked Mr. Okiura to take me home in his car. I got home at 7 p.m. I was home the rest of the night.
What do you think, Aiba?
I cannot detect any contradictions. However, her story appears almost too organized. Human memory is ambiguous. Her use of exact times leads me to be suspicious.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
That's true.
She did seem to be pretty spot on with those times. Alright, we're gonna turn off the camera now, kid. It's time for the good cop, bad cop routine.
Am I a suspect?
It's not like that.
It's fine, Date. It's true that I met with Mr. Okiura yesterday. But how do I put this? It's impossible that I'm the killer.
Why?
I'm a teenage girl. Mr. Okiura is a fully grown man.
Oh, she's got a point. A girl like her could have stabbed, poisoned, or shot him dead, but strangling?
No, it's still possible. You see,
I like this camera angle that we got going on here. Iris could have killed Renju because... well, she could have sedated him, potentially. I was actually watching a video just earlier today. It was talking about, what was it? It was one of those Game Maker's Toolkit videos, where they kind of talk about how game developers like, you know, certain mechanics and certain things that they do. And they were going over, like, investigation games and how it's really hard to get that sort of experience in a video game to feel natural and not feel like the game's telling you information. I was thinking about this while I was watching it. Thought it was kind of cool. They don't really do this whole interrogation-y, you know, clue thing much. But I like it when they do it. Though it's obviously, there's not a ton of depth to it. Anyway. I think it's sedation is how we would go about that.
The autopsy discovered a high concentration of benzodiazepine in Renju's body. This drug is commonly used as a sedative. It is likely that Renju was in a state of compromised consciousness before his death.
a heavy concentration of sedatives were discovered in Renju's body. Renju was practically in a coma before he died. He wouldn't have struggled.
So, Iris could have strangled him.
Wait a minute. Even if I was somehow able to kill him, the rest of it is impossible.
The rest of it?
Like hanging up his body?
How do you know that?
What do you mean? It's all over the news.
That's true. Renju weighed about 160 pounds. Even if she used her entire body weight, I don't think she could have hauled him up.
Right. It would be hard for her to do it with her strength alone.
Yeah, but she could lift 55-pound containers and then, do it one at a time.
But with a little ingenuity, it could be done.
Ingenuity?
Let's see.
The autopsy determined that Renju vacated his bowels for muscle relaxation upon death. However, no trace of this was found
Okay,
on the
that's
corpse
not what I
or
need.
at the scene. This means that it is highly likely Renju was killed elsewhere and moved to where he was found.
Probably Renju's weight? Renju weighs approximately 160 pounds. Okay.
Sunfish Pocket is located on the second floor. According to the records, from 6:30 p.m. until the body was found, the elevator stopped on the second floor only once. At 8:55 p.m., the total weight detected in the elevator was approximately 310 pounds.
Maybe the oil drum?
The oil drum inside Sunfish Pocket. The type that has a lid you can open, with about a 200-liter capacity. Empty, it weighs approximately 44 pounds.
Let's try Renju's weight, see what happens. Boss pointed this out earlier. Renju weighed around 160, so how would you pull him up? Is it the Discovery, maybe?
Renju's corpse was discovered at the maid cafe Sunfish Pocket, hanging from a beam on the ceiling by a wire. He was found over the counter. The wire was attached on both ends. One end was attached to a hook that was embedded inside Renju's jaw. The other end was attached to beer kegs found on the floor. The kegs hold approximately 20 liters of liquid. They weigh approximately 55 pounds each.
I think that's what I need to show.
It went like this. First, Renju was laid out on the counter. Next, the wire was thrown over the beam and connected to the hook in his jaw. Then all you need to do is put the 3 beer kegs on the counter.
You think a teenage girl could have done that?
I'm sure it was hard. The kegs weighed 55 pounds each. But that's not impossible, even for a teenage girl.
I guess it isn't impossible.
After that, you get on top of the counter, hook the other end of the wires to the kegs, and then, what do you think happens if you kick the kegs off the counter?
The 3 kegs weighed 165 pounds altogether. Renju weighs 5 pounds less. I guess that would make it possible. But there is one more thing.
What?
Considering the state of the crime scene, it's clear Renju was killed elsewhere and brought to where we found him. If Iris is the culprit, how did she move the body?
Yeah, that's the part that doesn't really make sense. That would be difficult for her to do.
Hey!
Not impossible, but difficult.
I know. You're going to say you couldn't have moved a 160-pound body.
Unfortunately for her, she could have.
How?
So probably oil drum. An elevator record? Maybe. There we go. Okay, not quite. Let's see. Because Renju's watch was in there, so I'm guessing that's supposed to be the evidence that's supposed to say that Renju was probably in the drum. Probably the weight. Not sure. It's not the elevator record, it's the watch? Okay, that's what it is. What'd you do, like roll him along the floor?
Do you know what this is? It's Renju's favorite watch.
So I guess the question might be to find out. So the barrel weighs about 44 pounds. Renju himself weighs about 160. So together, that would weigh about 205 pounds. So we'd need to maybe find out her weight, because I'm assuming she didn't just send the body up by itself and then run up the stairs in the building. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I feel like if she's about 100 pounds, that would explain it.
This was discovered inside an empty oil drum at Sunfish Pocket.
It's a little light, but then again, for a teenager, a small teenager, maybe that's about right.
Hey, Date, I know you're on a roll right now, but could you please report things like that according to protocol?
What are you trying to say?
Sorry, I completely didn't pay attention to what I was saying. Oh yeah, so so we found the watch and didn't bother to tell anybody about it. That's interesting.
I'm saying that it wouldn't be so hard to move a body if it were in a cylinder. You would just have to roll it.
So you're saying Renju's body was moved inside the drum, which is how the watch came off. But the suspect didn't notice it.
I'm not saying anything for sure. Just pointing out that it's possible.
I didn't do it! You don't even have any witnesses! If I were rolling an oil drum in the middle of the street, people would have noticed.
We're really being mean to Iris this time.
You could have put it in a car and driven it.
I don't have a license!
Doesn't mean you can't drive. Even an AI can drive nowadays.
Are you mocking me?
Don't make sudden outbursts like that.
You insulted me.
Just be quiet.
Who are you talking to?
Don't mind me, I'm just a crazy police officer, man. Quick, do the good cop, bad cop routine before she notices.
Anyway, Iris, you weigh about 105 pounds, right?
Alright, yeah, see, that would make about right.
Where is this coming from?
If only you weighed more. Or less.
That is none of your business.
No, I mean that your weight is relevant to the case. If the oil drum was used to transport the corpse, then the possibility of the suspect being around 105 pounds is extremely likely.
Okay, I see. So, the beer kegs were probably in the restaurant and not carried up the elevator. That makes a little more sense because they served alcohol there. And considering she used to work there, she probably knew where they were. So yeah, that does make sense.
Why do you say that?
That's gonna be the elevator record. Right, so Renji's weight. So you can't start off. Okay. Elevator record. And think Renju's autopsy report? Or maybe oil drum. That's probably right. Yeah.
Iris, on which floor is Sunfish Pocket located?
On the second floor?
That's right. So, I checked the elevator records. Before the corpse was discovered, the elevator only stopped at the second floor once. At 8:55 p.m. And we discovered that the total cargo weight on the elevator was about 310 pounds. Renju weighed 160. The oil drum weighs 44. Together, that's about 205. Subtracting that from 310.
This doesn't look good.
Why are you...
Now, this obviously doesn't prove you're the murderer. A lot of people weigh 105 pounds. Or someone could have put 105 extra pounds in the elevator, sent it up, and taken the stairs.
That's what I was saying. Really, if you're trying to throw something off, that'd be a good way to do it.
To throw us off the trail. However,
It's all pretty convenient.
Date, stop. Iris is acting strange. Don't turn around.
why not?
Just stay put. Keep your eyes on the wall.
Why are you staring at the wall there?
There are several cameras in this room. 2 surveillance cameras installed at the corners of the ceiling, and 1 camera on a tripod. I hacked each to gain access to their recordings.
Well, that's convenient. I was going to say we're going to look at them later, and I forgot I have an AI eyeball in my head.
Look at this.
Yep, that's Iris. There's Date. It's me. You busy texting while I'm in the middle of a freaking interrogation?
Shit!
Uh-oh. That's bad.
Iris,
Talking with Ota
what are
there.
you thinking? What is that thing? Hey, answer me, Iris.
She's definitely hiding something, Date. Sync with
We're
her.
gonna put you in the chair, kid. We're gonna poke into your mind. We're gonna find out what you did.
Iris is experiencing REM sleep. The medication is working perfectly.
How about it, Date? Think you can do it?
Not a problem. Get it started.
The time limit is 6 minutes. So before time is up,
I know.
then let's begin.
We definitely didn't knock Iris out. Just punch her in the head. Go to sleep, kid. It's time to get put in the machine. So I didn't expect to get started with the sinking thing right off. This is that warehouse again. Interesting. I wonder why we're here. This is actually very interesting.
What is this place?
It looks depressing. How is this related to Iris?
Unknown, but there must be a connection.
Iris, what are you hiding?
Somnium scan! Activate!
Yeah, I wonder what the mental lock in the middle of the floor is supposed to be. Look at the blood, watch the murder. Ooh. I really wasn't expecting to get started with this right off, but you know what? We're gonna do it anyway. And it looks like over here we have another forking path that's gonna happen, so I think we're gonna learn some very interesting things from this Somnium. It's not over there. Haha.
What?
There we go. Day 3, Iris B. Let's take a look at that real quick. It's a very bad picture. And the sync room, but like in concept stage. It's very bright in there. I've been looking at some of these from time to time, by the way. There are a lot of bits of information in here. And some of these are like just really great. And they get updated a lot actually too, because I've read through some of these. Can't remember like which ones that I looked at, but you can see a lot of these have been updated. Probably with pictures, I imagine. And then these have been getting updated as well. They don't seem to tell a lot of information about like the story of what's happened, especially considering that it kind of you back up, you know, and go forward and stuff with the flowchart. But I think it changes like the likes and dislikes a lot. And the skills and all these like things up here, it changes these. But these overviews seem to stay the same more or less. It's interesting. Definitely something that if I was playing by myself I'd look into, but don't really want to put too much time into it. Being by myself and all. Alright, let's check out that video then.
A CRT TV.
Ooh, those both look bad. Can we, maybe look at the door and get something to avoid
A
that?
double door.
These one half and 1/6 would be helpful for later, I think.
It doesn't open. We don't have to worry about it.
Alright. Let's go ahead and get the,
double
the 1/2 as well.
Hiya! Hiya!
Stop that! You're not helping!
What's interesting, there's not really any music in here either. Or really any effects. One of the big things that you've noticed from... Oh, that's kind of cool. Is that, you know, when the time slows down like this, you can usually see some visual effect like rain or something moving, slowing down. I do like that the TV, which is doing this kind of scan thing, is slowing down as well. That's kind of cool.
A CRT TV.
Alright. We're going to save our timies. Let's spin the dial. Well, Spin the dial. Okay, so that's the mother on the floor.
Stop!
I think no, that's not the mother. That's just one of the victims.
Please!
From the original set of killings like 6 years ago or whenever it was.
What is this video?
It is difficult to believe, but these are the faces of the victims of the original Cyclops killer.
What? What is going on here? Iris, what are you hiding?
We should continue. There are more objects to inspect now.
I see. Spinning the dial versus whatever the other option was the divide. Oh, this music's kind of spooky too. I feel like Iris is going to be a very big part of the story now.
A torso with a head.
If it has a head, is it still called a torso?
What would you call it?
Ooh, all of these are very bad. Is there something else we can use that bad timey on, maybe?
A full body mirror.
No, those are all bad. Gun? Oh, crap. Clicked out of the game.
A revolver.
Is it real?
It appears that way.
That's less bad. Let's do that.
It is a pistol. It appears to be fixed with a vise.
Why would this be here?
What's this? The trigger. There is a stick in the hole of the trigger guard.
That's suspicious.
5 minutes left, Doctor.
I got it. The gun appears to be aiming at this barrel. Possibly shooting at the barrel would cause it to lose its contents and become lighter, making the torso fall to the ground. Potentially. Not exactly sure. Let's investigate the torso now that I don't have that bad timing. Push it seems to be the longest option, so maybe that's like the best option. Or not?
No use.
Their guard is up. You have to loosen them up first.
What do you mean?
But the traditional approach would be to start with a massage.
If you are not going to help, should I choke you instead?
You should try that on them. They might be into that.
Date, please stop.
So that didn't really help much. We did get a timing out of that, but... honestly, choke might be an actual option we want to try. Oh, what, this video effect is kind of weirding me out.